Hi, welcome to Strength Focus. Today I want to talk about squats for people with knee and hip issues. And that's me. I have arthritis here and some over here. And so I'm always working hard inside of my body to be strong and to focus in a way that I'm not going to exacerbate the damage, but support the rest of my body um, to relieve it and to make up for the weakness. One of the things about arthritis is it doesn't go away. You can't rebuild. You rebuild with your bone, but you're going to have these wearing away things. And we're living longer, so this kind of stuff happens. What I'd like you to do is get a band if you have one. If you don't, just follow along. These are very short sets. They're for demonstration purposes. Class is maybe 20 minutes long because I'm just kind of giving you an opportunity to learn something to add into your workout. If you haven't warmed up before now, then walk around, stretch a little bit, and then come back. All right, so we're not going to do that right away. One of the things I want to talk about is when we look at the normal squat, right? We're like sit bone width or hip width apart, and we're sitting back. So we are sitting away from the knee, but the fact of the matter is, going back on our heels, there is a load, right, that we can feel on that knee happening. The hip is pretty good in a straight squat. It doesn't get a whole lot of wear and tear. So one of the things that relieve this is to load the quad a little bit more to lift it off the knee. And so what we do for that, there are a bunch of things. So I'm going to start with this demi squat. So a demi squat lands it in your quads and you're not pushing into the knee. Now that feels like you're not getting enough glute. So one of the things you can do here is come off the floor, take your heels off the floor, or I can release my plates or a slight book or box. I'm trying to look to see if there's anything I can use. So if I put a book, there we go. I have literary journals over here, doesn't everybody? A book I'm reading called The Coin. If I put a book or a block under the heel, all right, and I do a demi, I get more work in the glutes. So the fact of the matter is you don't have to come all the way down to get the work in the glutes. Even though the demi takes the load, puts a lot of the load into the quad, right? You can add to that by putting something under your heel. Now, ideally, I'm sure I have another book. Let's see, my book I'm going to have needs to be about the same volume. Yep, they're about the same. Putting them underneath and then demi. So you see that the glute is getting the work. The quad is lifting it off the knee, so the load's off the knee as much as possible. So if you have a book, if you don't, you just be standing on your toes a little bit, although you might get destabilized. So just do it flat and imagine yourself prepared to do this. So let's do 10 of these. Inhale down, exhale up. 2, right? So you can feel that the knees are not getting loaded. 3, and if we look at it from the side, keep going 4, this way. Average elbow. 5, see how the knees are not getting loaded. 6, the chest still stays lifted. You look ahead, make sure the eyes follow the workout. 7, nice. 8, it's amazing how much this releases from the knees. And don't pull forward so you don't sway your back. 9, and you could even do pulses in this one. So we're coming down and we're pulsing. Pushing back with the glute. 1, just for 10, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10, and bring yourself up. So literature does help you with your workout. All right, let's take these books away. Another option is to go wider. So if you take yourself wider and you want to work those glutes, you want to work those hamstrings, you're coming back away from your knees. It's actually a lot more relieving, and you're mostly, so it's less of a quad. So if your objective is to work the glutes, this is a good workout because it's less of the quad and it's more of the glutes. So a nice wide stance. So let's try that one for 10. So take it out. And your feet are straight ahead right now. So back, full squat, nice. 2, and you want to come up gently because you still use the knees, right? 3. So when I'm going fast in a workout, you slow down. 4, if you are trying to protect those areas. Maybe you don't have arthritis yet. 5, or osteoporosis, but you feel like, oh, my knee has been worn out from, I don't know, playing too many sports. 6, 7, too much square dancing. Have you been doing too much square dancing? 8. Now this one's harder to pulse on. 9. So what I would do if I were doing a wide leg one, I would do a hold with my arms out. So what the arms out do, and the other thing that people do is hold a plate, is it creates a counterbalance. So you have to hang on with all of this. So when you put it out, say you're doing 10, 1, 2, you're pushing into that glute, 3, and you're creating that balance issue, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10, and you bring yourself back up. All right, come back to the middle. All right, another option is to do a slight turnout right in your sit bone width position. Now, not a big turnout. You want to come over your second toe. That's going to kind of evenly distribute the squat. So when you come down, you're getting a little bit in that inner knee, but you're definitely getting the glute, not as much of the quads. I really love quad, so I'm always like, I want to do the quad and the glute. But some people say, I want that really like, you know what, when you have a toned glute, it helps keep your jeans on actually, because jeans, pants, especially ones with like no belts or buckles, are meant to fall into the arch of the lumbar arch. That's how they stay on. So when you lose that form, that's why mommy jeans happen. They pull them up here where their other the stability is, then you have lost that ability to keep them up. So that's why really young people with the really nice lumbars can wear the really short rise pants. All right, so little turnout, good. And do this to the position that feels less harmful. 3, bring it up. 4, didn't think we were going to talk fashion. We've talked fashion and literature. 5, good job. 6, nice. 7, and you're coming back on that heel, even though the legs turn out. 8. Now, as you know, we use this all the time in kettlebell. 9, and 10, because it's a more stabilizing position. But let's go to hip width and take them to that turnout. Now, there are 2 things you can do in hip width that don't really push the knees to an exaggerated extent. Everything pushes the knees. So let me say that off the top. There's no way not to engage the knees. What we're trying to do is engage them lightly. So the first one's a regular squat in this turnout. So it's down. So you see how we get a lot right here in the legs, and up. 2, nice. 3, so I'm proposing a second class, a short class for like half an hour that I will put back into the schedule over vacation. 5, maybe it'll go through to the semester. I actually know my schedule for next semester. 8, 6, 4, 7, for people with arthritis and osteoporosis. 8, I thought we should all be in this together. 9, it won't be for everybody. And although these positions do work for people who don't have them, they are your regular weight positions. But I'm going to be specifically tailoring these classes for people who have to watch their hip, have to watch their knee, and we're also going to do shoulder and back. So it'll be either every week or every 2 weeks, like our stretch, and I'll just get in there and say, okay, we're aging, but what are we going to do? All right, go back to that wide thing. Now you're going to think this is the worst thing on earth for your knees. This is the deep squat or the goblet squat. Your legs are turned out. They are hip width apart. What happens is your pelvis is open and you can drop below the knees. And you're saying, wait, the knees are really extended there. They're extended in a way that stretches them rather than loads them. That's why the goblet squat is more is more safe for the knees than actually a regular squat. But the trick with the goblet squat is getting back up. That's where people feel the knee issue happen and they feel a little bit wobbly. So let's examine that. So you may or may not be doing this along with me, but at least retain the information. So come on down. All right, so how do we get ourselves back up? You're going to push into your heel, push into your calf, push into your quad, and bring yourself up. So it's a gradual release. So you're not pulling up from the glute so that you're pulling up from the knee. Let's try that again. Drop it all the way down. So if we pull up from our knee, we pull up from our quad, we can feel this bouncing, right? If we push into our foot, heel, push into that heel, push into that heel, it goes to the calf, it goes to the quad, and it comes up. So we're going to do the rest, the next 8 of these just as slow. Because if we can make this an intuitive way of getting up out of a goblet squat, then we're going to say, okay, I can do goblet squats. If we stick to that way of pushing up with our quads, then you're going to say, no, this aggravates my knee. So let's go down, push into the foot, and bring yourself up. Good. And 4, bring it down. Good, and bring it back up. Feels so different, right, when you do that. 5, bring it down, and bring it back up. I feel like I'm getting so strong, and I feel like I'm not weakening anything. I'm not challenging anything. 6, push into the feet, really push into the heel the most, right? Drop those shoulder blades. Here comes 7, 7. Nice. 8. Good. You're doing it. Push. 9. And 10. So somewhere in today's lesson, you might find that there's a squat that fits your desires and needs the most. So every time we go to squats, maybe you default to that one, right? All right, big wide sumo squat, facing forward. Now, the nice thing about this is you are really using the sides of your legs a lot and not the interior as much. So this is a very safe squat, facing forward. So problem with this is people tend to hinge down before they go into the squat. You want to sit back. So slight bend, push back, push back, push back. Now, it's really important that your knee does not shift. So if you feel like your knee's going to shift, don't do this one, do the next one, right? 3, and I'll show you that one as soon as we're done with this one. Go to the one that makes you feel good right now. And I'm trying to slow everything down. 4. Bring it up. 5. Sit back. 6. Good job. Oh, I really like this. All right. 7. Nice. And every squat, got 3 more. 8. Requires you to have your back protected. So pulling that belly in as we come up is so important. 2 more. 9. Pull it up. And 10. Now, if your knees felt destabilized, let's turn them out and do the sumo squat that way. Why is this easier? Because your knees will be stabilized by your quad. There's more quad engagement in this one. It's almost like a plie. So come back. You feel how your knees have more connection to your quads here, and bring it up. 2. Good. Now you can find a different distance. If this is too far because you feel it in the inside, then you want to bring it further inside. 3. Good. So you got to find, again, the one that works for you. That's why I'm giving you all these options. 4. Nice. 5. Sit back, sit back, sit back. Good. Drop the shoulder blades. 6. Nice. 7. Now we've done a strength day where I showed you how to work your glutes without doing any squats. You're on the floor. 8. So that's always the alternative for your knees. But if you're in class and we're doing squats, it's great to have something that you can fall back on. 9. Good job. And last one, 10. Now hold it down here and hang out in it and examine what you feel. Any weight on the leg, any weight on the knee. Are your glutes extended? All right, then push into that heel and bring yourself up. Okay, let's go to the band. The band is great because it automatically stabilizes your legs. So also creates resistance. You want the band to have some push and impulse. So if it's not pushing you in a little bit, you're not going to get the benefits of the band. So tighten the band so it pushes your legs in a little bit, or take your legs to the distance where it's going to push. Mine is kind of hip width apart. So when you have the band, you can feel that your knees have support, because it's what's happening when your knees hurt is they're balancing. They're going like this, right? And the band holds them in place, just like that sleeve I wear. Now it's not totally going to hold them in place, just like the sleeve I wear doesn't totally make me not feel impact, but it does provide support. So the band stabilizes the position. So you can do a regular squat very often, not always. Again, it depends on people's bodies. With this band on while we're doing squats without the band. So, keep your straps and bands and blocks nearby always, because you want to be part of the workout. That's why we get together, right? 5 more. 5. Good. 4. Nice. 3. Sit back in it. Nice. Drop your shoulder blades. 2. Really feels amazing. I feel like maybe I'm going to use the band every time. Now let's go down and see how it feels on the pulse. Yeah, it's a little too wicked on the pulse, so I would just hold it, even with the band on, if you feel something happening in your knee. All right, the band is also a way to strengthen the muscles around your body, or around the knee, to get stronger. So one of the ways we do that is to come down into a demi squat, not all the way down into squat, demi squat, and push out. 3, 4, 5, 6. Try to keep your foot on the floor. 8, 9, and 10. Good job. So we can also walk out and together. 2, just walking. 3, and then back. 1, 2. So, but you're saying this is not engaging the knee at all. Of course it isn't. What it's engaging are the muscles that are going to lift the pressure off the knee. So one of the things we do is not only squat in a way that keeps the knee safe, we support the knee by doing exercises that will strengthen everything around it. So let's keep going. 2, we're just doing the 3-step. And we're going to do this in a squat position later. 2, and you can feel your knee working as it goes across. Good. Get your head over your tailbone. 3, I like it all the way up. You can be further down, but we are going to do a squat in a second. And last set. 1, 2, and 3. Now, a way to really put power into it is come into this squat all the way down, then bring yourself up a smidge and walk across. 1, 2, now 4, 3, 4, across. 1, 2, we're building. 3, abductors, adductors. 1, that's your side and inside, outside, inside. 3, 4, touch. 1. Now your knee might be fatigued right now, and might be feeling all this, but trust me, this is a way to support your knee. Do another set. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Last time. 1, 2, 3, and 4. All right, right here. We're going to drive the knee up and back. 2, now you can hold on to something. 3, nice. So this is hamstring quad. 4, 5, good. As you know, 6, bicycle is good for the knees. 7, So one of the things that we do is imitate it with the band on. 8, 9, 10. Other side with the band on. 1. Now you could do this without the band, but you like the resistance. 2, right here. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Now there are a bunch that go out to the side like this, but I don't want to do that today because that has hip implications, and taking on the hip is a whole nother class, right? So when I go to the hip, we're going to work the hip and strengthen the hip for our squats and lunges. I'll take on those side ones and I'll inform you about the knee for this. So let's take our band off, do a few stretches, and then we're done. So again, one of the points of this class always is to get information. The point of today's class is to find the squat that works for you and insert it where you need to insert it to protect your knees. This is all about protecting your knees. You know, you're going to benefit from my aches and pains because I'm constantly going to be working on therapeutic ways and strength ways and Pilates ways to take care of those parts of my body. Okay, we're going to stretch. We're going to do kind of easy stretches. We're not going to do hard ones because we've done a lot of work today. I want you to flatten your back here. Reach over to one side here with the arm, right? Come back to the center, reach over to the other side. And then in order to stretch our legs without impact, we're going to go into our downward facing dog, and we're going to take it up and then curl it. And then drop it down behind the other leg. And push into the floor, push into your chest, get all of that happening, and bring it back to center. Other side, take it up, curl it back. You know that stacking thing that we do. Opening up that hip and then dropping it down. Bring it back to center. Push yourself into that downward facing dog. Release everything, all the tension out of your body. There's enough tension in this world right now. And then walk your arms in and curl yourself. You may want to continue stretching. This is, not a full class, so I'm not doing a full stretch. You may want to continue stretching, opening your shoulders, anything that got tense, taking those knees into nice, comfortable positions. What I wouldn't do right now is sit down immediately. Walk around a little bit or take a shower, just a little bit, like 2 or 3 minutes before you just sit down and cram that knee back into, a working position. Okay. So thank you for coming to Strength Focus. Today was squats that protect our knees or use less of our knee engagement. And I'll come up with a whole bunch of stuff for next time.